that connection basically. So yeah,
What do you know?
you can thank AT&T for having horrible internet service in my area, for any potential problems during the stream and in the future.
Yeah.
Um,
So send your emails to them. If it's something upset about this live
I
stream.
used to be on Google Fiber, and Google Fiber was actually incredible with just it really had like no issues as far as I think I had like one problem at one point. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a good service right there.
but yeah, it just wasn't spotty. It didn't just like go in and out randomly. It was just a constant, stable, great connection. And as soon as I moved out here, and now I'm on AT&T, it's just been like a constant, as being someone that's on the computer basically all the damn time. It was noticeable right away with it just going in and out. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's unusable, like it's so slow you can't even use it. Um, and yeah, I really don't want to get on the phone with them. That sounds like the worst thing in the world.
For
But
sure.
I guess I kind of should. I just feel like they're not gonna do anything, right?
They'll make you wait for sure.
Yeah. The thing is actually they have a competitor in this area. It's either I can use AT&T or I can use
Time Warner.
no, not Time Warner. I can't remember the name of the other one. It's one that I've never actually used before. Um, But anyway, I actually have an option, I could basically, just tell them like you fix it or I'm quitting and I'll just sign up with this other thing, which is kind of cool. I know,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't
Uh,
have the option. A lot of people that are stuck like
yeah,
on
they're just
Comcast and
stuck.
stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, I guess there's that going for me, but I just feel like they're
Yeah,
not going to care, right?
they're
They'll be
not.
on hold for like 2.5 hours at least. Um,
Don't stress yourself out before the live stream, Just breathe, and hopefully, with the good karma of the universe, us helping you, help us help you, and the universe will help the internet not fail. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy our banter before the
if you
show.
like me complaining about my internet connection,
And
yes.
if you don't care, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe anyway, because nothing
And join our
matters. There you
mailing
go.
list and
Yeah,
subscribe
come
and
on.
join the Facebook group.
Tell your friends, bring your mom, bring your dad, bring the whole family. We got fun going on for
We like to
everyone.
have fun here.
Yeah, we do. Anyhow, all right, let's get to what you guys came here for,
Hopefully we didn't
which
lose too
is
many people,
happen.
but I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did. But yeah. All right, we'll get started on SEO questions, and yeah, hopefully anybody that was waiting for the show at noon will see us come back on. Again, sorry for being a little late, but
All right, let's see
it's up to
here.
the internet.
Um,
You probably just put up the
let's
post.
go with this one first.
Yeah, I was saying you could put up the meme
Yeah.
so that the reference. Okay.
All right, so um, someone in our group had asked, I know you were putting something together, but how do you define aggressive and short-term link? Should be a short-term link building. How do you
Yeah.
define aggressive and short-term link building? And this was in response to a meme that I made. Get it up there for you guys. 1 second. Don't know how to use computers. I'm a boomer. No offense, boomers.
Yeah, contrary to popular
Okay.
belief, me and Chris are not the most technically inclined people. We don't code, we don't read computer languages, um, but we know how to use WordPress pretty well, and that's helped out substantially.
I'm kind of technical, except when I accidentally click Steam. All right, here we go. We're rolling. We're rolling. All right, so yeah, I made this meme the other day. Just from conversations with people, giving advice to repeatedly in some cases. And then they go around and they say, oh, cool, cool, yeah, yeah. and then they go and they do something and it's you know, the opposite of what you told them to do or suggested or whatever.
I feel like that happens 90% of the time. It's like I spent time speaking with somebody probably for 30 minutes to
Yeah,
an
yeah, like
hour
you literally like
about their stress level and their situation and telling them like, hey, here's what I would do. Has nothing to do with, you know, I'm not charging them for advice. I'm not sending them to buy my products. I'm literally just telling them, here is what I would do as far as like a recipe for how you get out of this hole you're in.
mhm.
Um, and it's like the concept of going slow and smooth is alien to them. You know, they freak out and they stay along that trend path of making more
There's just
mistakes.
so many I, f- I don't know what it is about SEO in general, but I feel like there's such like a sense of desperation
For
in a
sure.
lot of these people. And it doesn't have to be just like you know, someone that's new and they're have an affiliate site, even just like a business owner.
Yeah,
Um,
agency owners that don't really understand SEO all that
yeah,
well,
there's
you know,
just
the
like
more white hat style,
there's
especially.
this
It's
extreme
up to the Google
desperation.
gods and I'm about to lose my business.
Yeah, like it just
Like,
extreme insecurity,
I couldn't
extreme desperation.
imagine.
I need it now, now, now. I
Could you
need
imagine
results now.
owning an agency for, you know, let's say 5 to 10 years, being on the white hat side of things and only listening to like fucking John Mueller and those people and
I'll pull
basing
up
an
that other
entire business
comment
model
that I
on
showed
that?
you in a little bit
Oh
too.
my goodness. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. It's like I would rather go get a job at Walmart than have that kind of stress level.
Maybe today we'll just rant about stuff.
I kind of feel like ranting. I feel like there's a lot of stuff, you know, and we never do this. You know, if you got a question, go ahead and put it up in the group and we'll get to it. But we're going to rant for a little bit. Let's base it off this meme.
Yeah, so you know, me and Nick try to maintain a pretty professional like demeanor publicly and stuff. But you can 100% know for a fact that, you know, when the stream turns off and we're talking to each other, there's a lot of yeah, there's a lot of ranting going along, a
For
lot of
sure.
yeah, I
I
mean,
feel like a lot of SEOs make that public and we've done pretty well hiding it. However, I think now it's not about us ranting it like an individual. It's more so just here is what we're seeing in the community as a whole.
the community is
And this
sick.
mindset is an issue because y'all have been force fed bullshit guru mentality for
Exactly, man. Oh my
forever.
God.
You think SEO is something easy that you don't have to study hard for. Every day that we're in this, we're learning new trends. We're going and we're picking up new topics. We're reading about it. This is like being a lawyer or a doctor or something higher end. You cannot just learn, you know, a little bit and then just excel at it. You have to constantly be on the study
I
for
guess
it.
that's what it is
And if
though,
you're
right?
studying the wrong shit,
It's the
you're gonna have
courses.
a broken brain. The
Because
courses,
that's how they
the
sell, right? The
the YouTube
course.
and Facebook mentality of just like, oh, I'm part of this group, and that means I'm gonna succeed.
Yeah.
No, you are your own boss. If you're out here buying links, buying content, building affiliate sites, quit putting your business in somebody else's hands. Start learning all the fundamentals, study them hard, understand what works, and then you'll know who to rely on to execute on some of that stuff. And that's
And
where the
understand that it doesn't
stress,
come
you know.
fast. The results don't come
No.
fast. If they do, it's probably risky.
Yes,
Um, and yeah, but I mean that's probably it though, right? It's all the guru stuff and the courses
I think
because
so.
a course would not sell well if it wasn't somehow pitched along the lines of if you just know my method, you're gonna just
Yeah,
it's gonna come fast, the success is gonna be easy. Um,
it's
I mean,
funny
not
because
everyone
I
watches
think
courses and stuff, especially people that are kind of like more tangential to the industry rather than right in the middle of
for
it. But
sure. I think with the amount of content we've put out, we've given like a full course worth of recipes to
oh,
success.
100%, 100%. You
You
just
know,
it's just not
and
in like a
it's like
nice
we're not
format, right?
charging
You have
for
to
it.
like dig
Yeah,
through
it's
it
not a nice
and
format.
piece it together yourself.
Yeah, but that's like that's part of the study. You know, you find somebody who maybe gives you a little bit of info that you can use. Okay, prod at it. See if that variable that they gave you a little narrative on is going to be able to be manipulated by what you said or what they said, and for the better. If that works, then you kind of string along, right? It's like anything else. You don't blindly trust anything. You kind of audit what you're learning, and you're going to find that over time, 90% of the people that you thought you could trust in SEO, just like any other industry, we're kind of more after the money than giving you their actual expertise on what works. And maybe to some degree, it's because they don't actually know what works.
I think they
Because a lot of gurus
well,
will
some of
just,
them I think they do know it works. It's just like, like Becker, it's not an SEO person anymore, but we were talking about someone earlier. He's first and foremost a businessman. Gurus are first and foremost, trying to make money off of their, no one, some people just want to be a guru because they want to be a star or whatever. But, I think anyone, I think the overwhelming majority of people that have guru status, they do it because it's a way to make money. They have to, it's their form of marketing, right? Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it's just all bullshit, right? There's just so much bullshit. Even from like the
I mean,
even from like the
it's
big
not
like
all right, but
yeah, of course there's like good top tier gurus. There's still like high amounts of bullshit mixed into it, which is purely just to like add
yeah.
fluff and add like
Yeah,
this
we're
kind of
losing
like
you a little
ooh
bit,
value
Chris.
to their what's up?
We're losing you a little
What'd you
bit.
say?
Losing you a little bit.
Okay. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, you're coming back. All right, continue.
I was just saying, even like some of like the more like top tier gurus and stuff, there's some good stuff in there. There's some good stuff, and I think they do a pretty good job of explaining stuff overall. But then there's a good amount of stuff that I consider just to be like kind of like fluff content, which is kind of like total bullshit that they just put in there to like basically make their thing look like unique or like they're contributing something new to the fucking discussion or basically doing any kind of real discovery or whatever on their own.
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like a lot of that stuff is kind of what ends up making them stand out, and so people then kind of like latch on to these things like they're actually meaningful when they're really not. It's
yeah.
it's the core fundamentals that are
The idea
mixed
of
in
false
with all the fluff on
technicality.
top, like the
Yeah.
normal stuff, the stuff that everyone already knows is the important part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sure.
so anyway, back to the question. It asked what do we mean when we talk about aggressive short-term link building, and it was in response to this meme. Beginner SEOs, they have a hard time like, ooh, should I do this a risky short-term link building, or am I going to actually spend time and money and build a link profile that lasts? And of course, doing that means results will be slower. But guess what? Results are going to be more stable, and you're going to have better chances of being successful like into the future rather than um, basically some turbulent shit show of a website that
Yeah.
sometimes generates traffic, sometimes gets slapped down by another algo update. And I'll show you an example of this. I can't show you the site itself. I'll have to do a screenshot. Um, Let me go
I
ahead
think
and pull
a lot
that.
of people, they tie their projects to their bankroll heavily out of the gate, and then they end up blowing their wad before they're even really like taking off in the SERPs. And the truth is, this day and age, to get a website that's successful, like let's say an affiliate or anything else, it's going to be a slow and steady move to the top. And that's why we preach, fundamental skill sets, and then make sure that you've got bankroll that's going to last through your campaign budget. These are all individual businesses you are creating. They're not just websites. And, a lot of new people, they learn something. They're like, oh, wow, we're going to jump on, we're going to build an agency, or we're going to, build 5 affiliate websites. Just keep it simple.
All right, Nick, so you can see the graph I'm showing them right here.
Uh, oh, yeah, yeah,
Never mind, you
okay.
can see it.
I thought you
All
meant.
right, so this is an example of basically someone I've been talking to for quite some time now, and they're always
They have an idea of what they want to do,
they
I
have
guess.
yes, they I don't know where exactly they're getting other information from, um, but it's like no matter what I try to tell them, uh, they they kind of like take it in and they kind of like agree with it or something, and then they keep trying their own thing. And their own thing is what we would consider short-term, riskier link building. And you can see by the graph right here, it's not working for them really at all.
It's
It's
like you're
just,
getting blips of success, but there's something missing in the recipe there that's not allowing your website to take
yeah, it's
off. And
just
just at a
this,
glance, I mean, that's what's kind of going
it's a
on. You're
turbulent, it's a
teeter-tottering.
turbulent mess, right?
Hmm.
They do something and it shoots up, and then Google's like, hey, that's weird. Nope. And then it goes back down, and
Yeah.
they,
It's not anything risky enough to warrant like a penalty or anything like that. But if
yeah.
you look at just the overall rankings, I mean, how long is that timeline over, Chris? I
This is
can't
over
see.
years. This is over
Yeah.
years.
So this is
Um,
multiple years, and you look at the success, and then boom, back down, up, down, up, down. There's something that's not quite making this the authority site that, quite honestly, it should be at this point in time, because it's got a good budget. It's got smart people behind it, but they're making some plays that, in our opinion, would be counterintuitive to restoring balance and getting this thing to move up continually. Um,
So back to the question was, how do we just, I basically was saying, or the post I made was kind of somewhat in response to this one, as well as another one, which I might show. Um, and basically they were just constantly going against what we're telling them to do, which is like, look, things do not look good and healthy. Like you need to just be very conservative, very like natural, very like kind of like foundational link building would be lots
Homepage.
of
Yeah.
homepage links. Yeah. Of course, a diverse mix of link types, but for the most part, you're going to be building niche edits and guest post type links, editorial type links, mix of authority levels with a focus on kind of mid to higher authority, natural anchors, branded anchors, URL anchors, generic anchors, and yeah, all to your homepage, right? When things are looking like this, this is not, when you see a graph like this, the first thing that comes to my head is, okay, we're going to the home page. Like without a question in my mind, like things don't look healthy, things don't look stable. We're not going to start erecting a huge tower on top of this foundation, right? It's just going to fall over, which is they've done like repeatedly. And time and time again, they go for the riskier short-term stuff. They might start doing some homepage kind of like safe linking for a while, and then they see things get better, and then instantly they go back and they start doing weird shit. They start doing these anchor texts that look super unnatural, with like dashes and like keywords and like,
And they
um,
don't want any like
and
any
they're,
kind of pillowing going along with it, like in the sense of pillowing from like a natural anchors to the homepage perspective. It's like when they decide to go in on the inner pages, it's all in on the inner
yeah,
pages.
yeah.
No more of the opposite.
And that's another
We're
thing,
good
short-term
now.
aggressive link building. When I think of aggressive link building, one of the things is just inner pages. They're just slamming inner pages.
Yeah, with
They said,
nothing
"Hey,
going to
look,
the
things are
homepage,
going up.
nothing going to.
Things are healthy now. So now we're just gonna slam inner pages immediately." Like the foundation hasn't. You think about like building a house. You've laid a foundation. Like the cement isn't dried yet. Like you still need to like the
Yeah,
work of the foundation is not
keep the
done.
trend going.
Yeah, you want things to actually be stable for a little bit, not these just like blips. And yeah, they just immediately they start going to inner pages. They start getting aggressive with anchors. They start using really unnatural anchors. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like stuff you would see in like
It's kind of
old school.
stuffing, yeah. A lot of
It's like
keyword
old school
stuffing
SEO, yeah,
and
with like dashes and like what the hell are you doing? Like
yeah,
where did you
trying to
see
use
this?
multiple keywords in one
Yeah,
anchor
or
to
like
quote get the most
branded,
out of
just
it. It's
like
like
this does not look natural. Like
yeah,
no one links to things like this anymore. Like it looks like a
yeah,
footer link or something.
yeah.
Um, but they're trying to do it like contextually, like in articles. It's just, and they're doing like lots of them. So they're doing these things
Hmm.
repeatedly, and so yeah, and the anchors they're using aren't diversified. They're kind of doing the same things over and
Or they're
over.
diversified, but they're all like stuffed money keywords, right? So it's not like the same one over and over again as much as it's like
Yeah.
variations, right? Or am I wrong about that project?
Um,
I can't remember.
they they do some kind of variations sometime, but
Okay.
they
All right.
for the most part, they're kind of just doing repetition of a couple of different things.
Hmm.
So it's diversified in that they're not doing the one thing repeatedly, but uh, we need more diversity than that, right? You can't just do three different things repeatedly. That's not diversity.
Right. Right.
um, but yeah, they basically just aren't giving the site some time to like settle and just maintain this like steady like growth and steady like naturalness, and Google to actually build trust with Google. It's like it's more like an abusive relationship, right? Where they, like you have like this super like
Do you like
manipulative.
using that
Well,
analogy a lot?
it's what it's
It's
like,
fun. I know. Yeah, I got it.
and so they're
It's
like,
good.
oh, they get in these huge fights, and then the guy maybe is like manipulating it and talking down to him and stuff, and then they're like, okay, we're breaking up, and then he's like, oh no, baby, things gonna be all right, and like it's just this like back and forth of,
Whoop.
and as soon as
Boom.
things start to get better, they just bam straight back to the bullshit, and yeah, Google,
And
you can.
Google knows. Google ain't putting up with that shit anymore, you know?
Google
Like it's
doesn't like
not.
it, man.
No. And Google's smart. Google's a smart lady or non-gender, but
What was the other
company.
one? Obviously don't say it.
I can't. I'm trying to think of. Um,
I think I had it written down actually somewhere. 1 second. Sorry for
yeah.
the quick delay. Give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Um, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice little volatile graph.
Which one should I do? I'll just do this one.
All time. Yeah.
All right, so this one, this is another site, and you can see these guys are actually working with a little bit more traffic over here. Let me make sure I got it pulled up. These guys are actually working with a little bit more traffic. Site's a little bit bigger than the other site. Um, but you can see the graph is very similar in that it's the constant ups and downs, right? They're not able to get past this hurdle. And I can tell you in my experience of talking with this person, um, exactly what the problem is, and it's the same as the last one. They they get ahead of themselves in that they don't allow enough time for this very natural, very conservative link building before they say it's time to slam in our pages with money anchors, baby. Let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Yeah.
I think they do monetize YouTube videos for saying fuck, but
I don't even care anymore. I mean, that's
yeah, it's
part of
fine.
that's
Doesn't
part
matter.
of like, we've been Chris and I've been talking heavily about what we're trying to give y'all with, us putting ourselves out here and giving out information for free. I think the reward here is just being the Robin Hoods of information, and anybody that wants to run with it and then finds a recipe through success for the shit that we've gotten out there. Um, you know, all of this information was something we aggregated from people giving it to us. A lot of times we paid for it, but yeah, that's I don't think we have interest in that. If you're really good at SEO, selling an SEO course is going to be minute returns on your time in comparison to what else you can be doing. This you guys should seriously consider that what we're doing here is literally a hobby. 1 hour out of the week, we just come in and we're giving out information, and that's not counting the amount of time that we're spending inside of the group or in private talking with people that we're not charging either. I like seeing success stories, but
So
uh,
so
yeah, go ahead.
this one, I think we started talking to this person around here. Probably when it was crashing, they're probably like looking for help or something.
Help.
And, it's a very easy answer. There might be other problems going on with the site. Look into algo updates, look into your on-page technical, all that good shit. But as far as off-page is concerned, you see this happening, the answer is easy. Authority to your homepage, natural anchors. Right?
Seriously, it's what we do. Yes, it's what we do.
It's that's the answer. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if you look into it and you see their anchors are just super. They've slammed a ton of keyword stuff, and maybe they have only like one link type or whatever. Then you might do some like diversification. Some like lower authority stuff, and just trying to hammer in a lot of like more like natural anchor text or different link types or whatever. But for the most part, we're talking authority to the homepage, natural anchors, and you want things to first you want to stop the bleeding, and then you want to see things start the steady, slow growth. The steady, slow growth. Let that go for a while, and then you can start getting more aggressive slowly.
Yeah.
You start
Yeah, small
slowly adding
percentage
in
of your
inner
anchors. Yeah.
pages with some exact match anchors slowly. That'll make up maybe 10% of your link building in the beginning. Not 50%, not 75%, not 100%.
Usually it's even 10% for my monthly, like even on campaigns that are doing really well. I don't like to go too far out of that, to be honest, for my own projects. And it's because, I mean, if you've got an overall authority site, you don't really need too much interlinking to get yourself movement in popular SERPs. If the overall position of your site is that it's a extreme authority site,
Yeah, so this one, I think, right around here, it's probably when I gave that first. Yeah, right on this. Yeah, right around there is when I gave like the first advice, and then so they started doing it, and that's and you saw things kind of like come back up and start to kind of plateau or whatever, and then I think around here, it might have been even like kind of moving down a little bit. Basically, they stopped doing that, and they're like, and they just, they didn't give the site any time to really start the steady recovery. Um, we didn't see any kind of, it wasn't really like it kind of like popped up a bit, but it wasn't really just giving that slow, steady, nice, like healthy looking curve, right? It
yeah,
was this kind of like, oh, it blipped up and then it kind of like went flat, and it was like, it's not ready, right?
no,
Like you
right.
keep doing the natural stuff. And but they didn't. They said it's time for inner pages, and I want to, and I'm doing exact match keywords.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I'm telling you what to do. Okay, I came to you, but now you're done, and boom. Well,
Well, this one I don't think is a client.
yeah,
Um,
either way,
yeah,
imagine it.
but yeah, came to us for help, whatever. But
Yeah, for help.
and then so he started hammering the exact match keywords, and the site reacted awesome, right? They were like, he's probably on the moon. Oh
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Went out and
I went to the
partied. Fucking,
gurus, I
yeah.
fixed my site, and then I went back and I started juicing that thing. And he juiced it. He juiced the
Yeah, you
hell
juiced
out of
the
it.
hell out of it. Yeah.
But then what happened? Now he's even lower than when we stopped the bleeding in the first place.
And you know what happens when you get yourself into that predicament? It's ultra hard to inject, or maybe not ultra hard, but it's harder to inject that trust flow back into your website than it was if you would have just done
It
things
is.
properly
That's
from the
that's that's
get-go.
very true. Like once you start seeing sites go like this,
Yeah,
you're totally right.
Google has like a questionable, section for sites like this. It's like,
Yeah, Google's like,
it
you're a
like makes
shady
sense, but then
bitch.
it
Like you
doesn't.
are
Yeah.
a shady MF. Like, right? Like I don't know if I want to. Like I don't know if I
I'm like,
want to chill
we're
with you no
getting
more.
loose right now.
It's so true though. Like, and you
Yeah, for
just see
sure.
it over and over and over and over, and they don't want to listen. Um,
No.
you
No,
know,
and they'll ride that wave all the way to crash and burn before they reach out, looking for help again. And then anything that's, slow and steady wins the race is not something they want to hear. So then what do? They go pay attention to some other quote guru who's like, hey, this product gonna rank your stuff. Oh my God. And then they go do it. And
Oh,
you know what? Quite honestly,
who was it the other day
sucks to
posted a
suck,
really
man.
funny guru thing, or we thought it was funny. I'm not
You
gonna
should
say
talk
it.
about
No,
yeah, don't
I'm
say
not gonna say
particular
it.
names that we're yeah. We
There's just
we
so
see a
much
lot of
disgusting
humor.
stuff, man.
There's a lot of disgusting stuff in the SEO world. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, showmanship plays, you know? I mean, they're probably making more money than us because they do focus on monetizing every angle of what they've learned. And
Because they
in some
scam people
degrees,
to a
that makes them
degree.
smarter. That makes them smarter business people, but it also makes them rather unethical from our points of view. So, we don't play those games.
But yeah, so anyway, just to kind of wrap this segment up, we've been ranting for quite some time now on this. But obviously it's
I feel
something we're passionate
privileged.
about. The question was, how do we define short and aggressive short-term link building? So in this case, there's so yeah, not basically not setting a steady foundation, not doing enough homepage linking, not waiting to see like a steady graph that's going like this, right? Or even like, even lower like this. Just seeing that steady growth over time before you really start hammering links to inner pages with exact match anchors. So in this situation, this is what I mean by short term. It's a very short-sighted, give me results now type of link building. And I'm not saying, inner page links with the exact match anchors are 100% necessary, and they're extremely powerful, right? Once you start doing that stuff is when you're going to start seeing some like massive movements and stuff. But you can't just jump into it when when
I
shit looks unhealthy.
I'd
You
like
got
to give
go
yeah.
for it.
I'd like to give a little example. I've got an authority site I've been working on for a long time. The main page that ranks for something like 60% of this website's traffic, which, equals somewhere around like 20,000 monthly searches or monthly views, has less than 5 links going to it in a very competitive niche.
Yeah.
And majority of those links, guess what? They're not money anchors.
Yes, like if your website, let's say your website has, or let's say your website has 100 referring domains, and you've got an inner page with 15, 20 links already.
Yeah.
Uh, you're doing in my from everything that I've seen repeatedly over the years, you're doing it wrong. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
saying it can't
lopsided.
work. It's just very short-sighted. It's extremely aggressive. It's make money fast mentality is what it is. Um, and yeah, it can work. It 100% can work, and it can work very well. But it can also do this, and this is what you see the most of. It goes up and
Yep.
down and up and down, up and down and up and down, and then you quit SEO. SEO is
Yep.
bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that a lot.
I did
A
everything.
lot of sore
I did
losers in this
everything right, and
industry.
it didn't work. Like, no, you
Yeah.
you literally did nothing right.
No, you just went and listened to random people and
You
then,
got jerked
did your own.
around, and you got
Yeah,
aggressive, and you lost.
you failed. Yeah.
Um,
It's so similar to like the stock market, I mean, I'm gonna put in my 10 grand, I'm gonna get rich. Wiped out in, X time. Only in SEO, it's probably wiped out in like 6 months to a year usually.
yeah, for sure. Let's see this one. What this site's been going around since 2020.
Yeah.
Let's see how much longer they work on this before they call it quits. And they say, don't know, man.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? And
Um,
if it's even their site, if it's a client site, they might just milk them until they're dry. I don't know. It's predatory as hell out here.
I think we actually had some questions in the live. Um, Here, we're gonna get to one more.
Yeah, are you going to mention the quote that you read today while we're on rant time?
Um,
Because that's funny. I mean, that's part of the mentality we're talking about,
well, I want to pull it up, but I can't remember if the screen here. I just don't remember if the screenshot has the person's name on it. Even the
Oh,
YouTube comment.
maybe just copy it and then eliminate any name from it, so we can just get a little laugh out of
I'm
it
just
here.
worried that I'm accidentally going to show it on.
Oh,
Here, one second. Um, 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 um. Okay, so there's a couple actually. Um, I guess we can do this one first.
there's no names or anything in there. I don't want to have a whole stupid battle with another SEO. It's happened so many times in the past, and it's
No,
a waste of
we're.
time.
I don't even know if I want to go into it.
All right, let's skip it.
We'll
If it
we'll
can
we'll,
bring any
we'll
kind
maybe do it
of
later. We'll maybe do it later.
bullshit,
Let's just get to
let's not
some.
do
Let's
it.
get to some
Yeah,
questions
we'll
right
get to
now.
some real questions for you.
Um,
Oh, it's up,
huh?
right? Did you just have it up? Oh, never mind. Sorry, your screen sharing just something different.
Yeah. Let's go to some of the questions for the people that are actually watching live.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't feel like Google penalized cheap PBN links. They just turn off link juice for detecting cheap PBN links. The sites I saw, ecom low competition, just build new cheap PBN links and keep ranking fine.
Yeah. So
So cheap doesn't necessarily mean bad.
right.
Um,
And then also, guys and girls, PBN links, a lot of y'all are ranking or rating their ability to help your campaigns by the looks of them. Hypothetical, the links that we sell, the PBN links that we sell, all of those websites look relatively like real websites, right? They've got design, influence, etc. My private PBNs that I'm building for obscure campaigns that I utilize exclusively for specific campaigns, they are bare bones. There's no reason for me to add a whole lot of element, as far as design, influence, etc. on that. I'm using it purely as a power hub. So long as it's indexed, it's got some level of trust in Google, that link is going to play. It's going to be crawled and it's going to point to my money site, right? That is the purpose of the PBN. Just because they look cheap or maybe they're Fiverr cheap doesn't mean that they're going to be bad for your campaign. What you need to be watching out for with PBN links is footprints, right? And these are things that you cannot see unless you built the website yourself or unless you really explore in depth. But even then, you're going to have a hard time breaking down like all this information about the PBN. What you need to know is that the PBN that you're getting links from, not just one site, but the network of sites that these people are running, are being kept fairly separate in aspects of footprints. We're talking about overlap with other competing sites. We're talking about overlap with footprints, the themes, just the overall way that you build a PBN. What you're gaming is Google crawlers. You're not gaming the average human being. A lot of people talk about audits and the manual actions and stuff like that with the teams that are combing these sites. Well, guess what? If you're well diversified enough to not get something to where a team like that, should they even have them, is combing these sites, then it doesn't really matter what it looks like. The websites look and feel differently all across the internet, and they serve different purposes. There is no concrete way that you build a site to influence its trust.
but just to and kind of just to talk about what we were just talking about before. When I think about cheap PBN links, one of the things that pops into my head is short-sighted, aggressive link building, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't matter. Your second part of the question, the sites I saw, ecom low competition, just build new cheap PBN links and keep ranking fine. Like we were talking about before, this short-term or short-sighted aggressive link building 100% can work, but it can 100% and almost always does blow up in your face. Kind of depends on the niche in some cases, but
Yeah,
just time and time again, it ends up working, and then it doesn't work.
yeah.
That's just
And
how it goes.
some variables we're missing here are, how long they've been doing this, how much of their link profile the PBNs make, etc., and what their
Well,
anchor profile looks
it
like.
says right here, it says the sites I saw, they just build new cheap PBN links to keep ranking fine. I mean, so I guess, we can't really tell exactly what else they're building. If they're building a bunch of other types of backlinks and then they have cheap PBN links in there, that's fine. I don't consider that short-sighted, aggressive link building. I consider that more of a well-rounded link profile, right?
Yeah, there's some advanced SEOs that, and I mean, like we do it too, um, that do use spammier links once they've gained trust, and they've got, solid link building campaigns going. They can also inject a little bit of cheaper link in there without having to worry about the penalties of what could happen if, something were to get de-indexed, or, the trust goes down a little bit. But that's when you've got a big link profile. There used to be a pretty famous course, very expensive course that taught, how to get to that stage. But it's not until way later, in your SEO
Yeah,
campaigns.
but if you're talking about just using pretty much like purely these cheap PBN links, you need to understand the risk. I'm not saying don't do it. I kind of am saying don't do it, but you
Yeah.
need to understand exactly what you're getting into, and it's the very, very, very real possibility that you're just going to lose everything, all the money that you spent on the project. It's going to literally just go down into the toilet, right? You're going to lose it all.
Hmm.
If you're okay with that happening and you're assessing that as part of basically your budget or whatever, the fact that this could just all be lost, that's fine. You can do it, and it 100% can work. It's just extremely risky, and there's a very
Hmm.
real possibility that you lose it one time or another. Might work for a little bit. Might work.
Yeah.
What's up?
We lost you for a second there.
Okay, my
Lost
bad.
you for a second. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the good thing is I think it's just you losing me because you're on Skype.
Okay.
As far as the recording goes in the stream, hopefully it's all right. But
Cool.
but yeah, so yeah, if it blows up in your face, you know exactly why. You know what you did wrong. And it doesn't matter if other sites are getting away with it, it can still come back and blow up in your face, right? Um, you see it all the time. You see like a competitor site, you're like, how are they getting away with this? Right? We
And
see it all the time.
they might be far advanced in comparison to you. Just because you see a website doing something slightly nefarious and getting extreme success for it, don't think that you're on, that person's level of understanding what their recipe is. Everybody in SEO who's
Yeah,
got
that's
success
true.
has built their own way to get there. And for some people, short-term gains is their game. It's not what we do here, right? Some people make extreme profitability spamming websites for Conor McGregor fights and stuff like that, right? But it's its own brand, and I don't imagine there's any school that's teaching that kind of stuff. Those people they're different.
It's a dying breed.
I think so. Yeah.
I wish there was more of that still like in the spotlight, to be honest,
When
because I think
yeah,
it's more
it's
interesting.
pretty cool. But yeah,
It's just more interesting.
hmm
They're people who, and if you're a guy who just buys cheap PBN links on Fiverr and you spam the hell out of sites, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people that really like push the limits of search engines, push the limits of trying new techniques, extremely black hat
yeah.
type
But
stuff
these
with
are
Google. I
people,
think it's real. I think it's really cool and interesting.
it's awesome.
I don't
Yeah.
practice it because as far as where our business is and how I like to grow things, it's just not in the cards for me. But as far as my interest level goes, I think it's really cool. But yeah, it's like super. We're talking
Yeah. I mean,
super advanced stuff here,
I
not
wouldn't I
not so
wouldn't have it.
much.
I I don't think either of us really would even have a chance at it. I mean, the people that are excelling in that really understand algorithms and how to game them using, technology or language that I don't think either of us speak.
Yeah, I
When
mean,
you're running bots through like 1,500 websites that you just like purchased with, I see. I can't even really conceptualize the stuff they're doing. I've tried
it's just
when
it's
I
advanced,
really
right?
was like I'm telling you, whenever you see like a big sporting event come up, you go to the SERP for watch this whatever free. Throw one of those sites up in Ahrefs, and they'll all be roughly the same. And you're looking through these link building campaigns that literally might last hours for all I know, but this is their campaign and they are shredding. They are printing money, but they are on. That is like the corporate overlords versus us peons at Sir Links a lot. Like, I mean, you get a different mindset to be up there. But I'd recommend, if you get the chance, you jump in there and you do that with any sporting event. Watch free in Google. Take one of those sites that just popped up and put it in Ahrefs and see what kind of stuff they're doing. It is tricky business,
Yeah.
but it's on the fly. Like these aren't people planning out extreme link building situations as much as they're planning out extreme botting situations to emulate ultra fast hype based around sites. But for the recipes to succeed in that, like, you've got to be so on target. It's cool. And so if anybody that does that ever comes across this video,
Send us a message and like,
hats
comment, and
off.
subscribe.
Hats off to you. I respect what you're doing. I'm an ape, and this is where I stay. This is good for me.
We're getting conservative in our old age.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's probably 15-year-olds that, like, just don't care, figured something cool out.
Zoomers, man.
They're so good. I'm in the NFT space now, and it's like they don't resonate that 2 ETH is $7,000. It's just 2 ETH that they earned, messing around with altcoins 2-3 months ago. Who cares? I want my gaming NFT, which is cool. I mean, I respect it, but they're on a different level.
Hell yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. Hopefully that answers your question, Dr. Doom, which is actually a really funny name for someone asking about cheap PBN links. Careful out there, bud. But also, yeah, just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
All right. Thoughts on utilizing programs like MR running to tiered links you want to do? Do you know what MR is?
No, I just type. Maybe let's check it out. I'm guessing it's just going to be like a spun content Web 2.0 or something like that
I don't
type
even know how to search for it.
bot.
I mean, definitely.
What did you say the question? Mr. What?
So it's thoughts on utilizing programs like MR running to tiered links.
No, no. Uh, oh, MR running. Just type in MR running to tiered links or MR tiered link building.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what that is. I'm not really finding anything.
But
Ryan, if
hypothetical.
you're still around, go ahead and let us know what you mean by MR. Otherwise, we're gonna have to move on because I can't really.
I guess what I'll say about this is I've used bots with like bot programs before when I first, not when I first started, but after I'd been early on in my SEO career. And I used them two-tiered link build. Majority of that stuff I didn't find to be as influential as literally just doing decent tiered link building to inner pages, meaning manual Web 2.0s that can include Fiverr stuff, But as far as running bots for thousands of tiered link building, It's not something I do. I did use GSA for a while. I had success. That was maybe 5 years ago, right? None of that stuff works anymore as far as I can get it to work. When I started noticing that it would influence my campaigns negatively, I just cut it out altogether, and I haven't gone back to any bot building programs since then. My preference is always to use cheaper links that still have, a sense of quality, which can include things like blog comments, forum links, diversity links, maybe even barrage niche edits, stuff like that, to build up the overall authority of the network, the ecosystem that my money site exists in, right? But Google can go back 2 to 3 tiers from your money site. So if your money site is quality, then you've got, quality surrounding it, pointing back, but then that quality circle is all garbage attached to it. Google knows that the point at the center of this network of sites is your money site, and it's going to get attacked. If you're building up tiered link building is great. It's something that a lot of people aren't practicing. It's something that a lot of people should practice. But you have to look at it from that perspective. You are in the center of, your own little link building universe, and you're building a narrative with these links. Even if you're really good quality up until, a certain stage, if it gets read further and it goes to pure spam, it will connect back to you.
Yeah, so basically think about it like this. Think about you have your website and Google says, hey, that's pretty cool. And they say, oh, it's linked to by a bunch of sites that are, I don't know, have a bunch of links going to them too. Oh, but it's linked to by a bunch of sites that are kind of seen as like ultra spammy backlink profiles. Like, what is that all about? It's like the same reason, like if you buy like a guest post or something, you don't want to buy a guest post that's on a website that's super spammed out with a bunch of like crappy, that's a horrible backlink profile, right? Like it doesn't have to be the best of the
Yeah.
best, doesn't have to be perfect. No backlink profile is perfect. Um, but you don't want, a bunch of like auto-generated crap backlinks propping it up, right? You don't want to
hmm
buy that guest post. That's the same thing as using automated stuff on tiered link building. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
like
and when I talk about manual too, for tiered link builds, that can include strategically used cheap Fiverr links. It absolutely
for
can.
sure.
Because just because the writing isn't all that great isn't going to completely discredit, these portions of your network, and they're going to be more limited as far as like looking at the whole ecosystem versus if you're taking every link that you ever purchased and you're putting it into an Excel file and then you're slamming it with the same type of, bot made kind of tier 3, 4 networks. Yeah, it's probably not going to play out too well for you.
Yeah,
Now, granted, I don't know who MR is. We're not
or what
downplaying their
MR is.
service or anything like that. We don't know what it is, but we're just talking for our preference.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
well, like we were talking about in the other segment, we're back again to short-sighted, aggressive link building.
hmm
Usually, when someone's talking about using automated programs, it's because they don't want to spend the money or they don't have the time, whatever. And they're going for that short, easy win, the short,
Yeah.
easy, cheap win. Um,
And
it,
nothing costs you more than hurting a campaign before it even ever gets into
and
profit, because that means you've sunk all your
and I'm not just
costs.
saying this, we're obviously a link vendor. We obviously sell backlinks. I'm not saying this because I'm saying you need to buy our backlinks for your tiered link building. When we do tiered link building, we use much cheaper links than would use, for the big guns hitting the money site.
I use I'll use Barrage a lot on
Yeah, we
tiered,
like our niche edit barrage.
alongside
They're,
other
our,
stuff.
our
Yeah.
cheapest niche edits, super low authority niche edits are nice for
hmm
that. But it doesn't have to be our links. I'm not trying to pitch you on our
Yeah.
links or whatever. Just when it comes to link building in general, um, unless you're the super advanced black hat
Yeah.
guy that really understands shit, Um, and if you're asking this question, it's probably not you. It's not
These
not
are
not taking a
probably
dig at
like,
you. Just usually, if you're asking this question, it's probably not a good idea. You're kind of getting into things, trying to learn. It's something I would stay away from.
yeah.
Um, yeah, in general, just any kind of automated link building, I would stay away from, even if it's to your tiered properties. I would stay away
Hmm.
from if you're kind of newer. But yeah, it could probably work. But yeah, just like we were saying in other segments, risky, short-sighted. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Do
Yeah.
you want to get into the other thing?
What thing?
I kind of feel like ranting a little bit more. There's two more.
Okay, do it.
There, okay. Well, there's two more things we can take a quick look at. Um, Let me get this one, and we're just gonna do the top part of it.
Okay, just make sure there's nothing in
There's
there that.
not. I mean, people might be able to figure out who it is, but honestly,
Yeah, I
it
don't.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't matter
I'm not
there.
gonna
I
talk
mean,
about
it's
the
all
person in
public
particular.
information.
Yeah. All right. So, today me and Nick have been ranting a lot about basically just guru bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Gurus they're gurus for the most part. Gurus are gurus for a reason, and that reason is to make money, right? They're a business. Um, Nothing is free. Nothing
Yeah.
is free. Um, you know, you could even say that about us. We have a link
Yeah,
building
we have a
agency,
business
right?
tied to
And so
this.
we
Yeah.
we do these live streams as a way, to basically pulling in additional traffic, just more people into our network might see our products and might give them a try, right?
Yeah.
I guess any guru could say this really as part of their con or whatever,
Yeah, but we
but
never say, we never say we've got like the max expertise and you need us to win and our products are the only ones that will help you
yeah,
win. Having said that, we use our own products extensively and we're successful. So, yeah, I mean, we're building our ecosystem, right?
and to a certain extent, we're basically saying, well, don't trust those gurus, trust us. But we're actually,
Yeah.
I guess we're not. People might see us as gurus in some sense, but we're really just doing these weekly live streams to try to help people, but also brings people into our network. It's kind of like a win-win situation, right? If we build a
Mhm.
reputation for being helpful and just putting forth good vibes out there, then maybe it'll bring more people
Good
in with good vibes,
vibes.
bro. But anyway, back to the guru bullshit. Um, one of the things that has been around since the term white hat SEO and black hat SEO has been around is, bro, I ranked this site with no backlinks in a
Hmm.
high competition niche. When you see that, there's two options. Uh, that either they're stupid and they don't understand that by that by doing whatever they did, they naturally accumulated some backlinks and that played a major factor in their ranking, or they're being intentionally deceptive to sell bullshit,
Yeah,
course,
or
whatever they're making
or
money off
their
of.
idea of competitive is not that competitive in the grand scheme of things. But most likely it's deception,
So
yeah.
I'm not gonna name a name here. I'll just say this was one of the bigger white hat SEO gurus in the space. And they were recently, I don't know how recently, I guess they were kicked out of a bunch of Facebook groups. And anyway, the reason they were kicked out of a bunch of Facebook groups is because they were caught photoshopping links out of Ahrefs to help. You can't make this shit up. To
I know,
help
and it's a big name, so it's just like
to help
what a
sell their course that claimed to teach people how to rank pages without links. So, the, you know, this is like
I mean that's
this this
fraud,
this is
you
like a
know? That's
child.
fraud.
This is like a child, like cheating on their homework. Basically, this is like the level, like the level of sophistication it takes to legitimately convince people enough to spend thousands of dollars. You know, we're talking about like grade school level sophistication using whiteout
Yeah.
on something, digital whiteout on
Probably
Photoshop to make it look
probably
like
not
there's no
even.
backlinks on something.
Hmm.
Like, are you kidding? Like, so just I guess what I have to say is just beware of bullshit.
Yeah,
Don't
there's a
be a
lot of it out
sucker.
there.
Like if you're in SEO, you're in marketing, right?
Hmm.
SEO is a part of marketing. And if you can't understand that people do very simple shit like this constantly, if you can't understand like what people need to do to sell something and to be skeptical of it, then
Go get a
maybe
job
yeah,
somewhere else. Don't get into
maybe
SEO
marketing is not for you.
for sure.
Like maybe you'd be better off elsewhere because like you're literally getting conned by like using like the tactics that you're supposed to be employing or could be employing.
And you see it
Maybe
all
to a
the
less like
time.
nefarious degree, but there's selling a lot of things. There's just a lot of sales is kind of or marketing is just kind of gross, right? It's
For
like
sure.
a little bit deceptive or whatever. Maybe not as deceptive as this, like extremely and blatantly, intentionally deceptive, like striking at the core of what they're like the main principle of what they're doing. We don't need links to build this.
Yeah, because
Literally,
I
they
mean,
just
in
made
this
it look like there were
there
no
is no
links.
middle ground. Like this is just purely no ethics.
Yeah,
Just malicious.
yeah. Um, so
Do the comment that came under it? It was this one, right?
yeah. Um, I gotta.
It's just, oh well, that kind of
No,
has a
I'm gonna
name
take it out.
too.
God, that comment actually, I made me want to like just go throw up somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a pretty good.
sorry guys, give me 1 second here. And this is why, like, and this is what makes like, wait, make sure I don't have a name in here. Sorry. Okay, I don't see any name in there. Okay, thank God, 'cause it was already too late anyway. Um, but yeah, so this was, I don't know, hopefully you guys can see this. This was just a comment on one of these person's videos. And this is what makes it like so much like more like disturbing and gross and like just total lack of respect and total like guru hatred, right? For these people that are twisting people's minds, right? So I work 2 jobs and I'm so busy and I don't have time to comment on videos I watch. But just so you know, your video channel is one of the very few I actually bother to watch and I find is genuine.
This is this
Literally,
talking about the same person that
yes.
photoshopped Ahrefs
That just
backlinks
like
out of the image.
blatant fraud, intentional fraud to sell something, right? To sell a certain strain, a certain idea of SEO, ranking without link building, ranking
That
without any
doesn't
links.
fucking exist. It doesn't.
Most SEO channels survive on clickbait, so they don't understand that, you know, ranking without links, that is clickbait. Like you are literally
For sure.
saying you don't have clickbait on a video that like on the person that's like one of the biggest clickbaiters there is.
He's huge. Yeah,
Um,
it's
about what
mm.
Goggle says. I actually laughed when they said goggle instead of Google. I just thought that was funny. And they all say the same thing. So right here. So basically we just have a fundamental misunderstanding or I don't know, it's just kind of like mental gymnastics territory because they say I like you because you don't have clickbait. But they're just going against what everyone else says. Like that's clickbait. Like when you take something that's just super contrarian, like that is
Yeah.
clickbait. Like
Yeah, and if you see somebody that's only putting out content that, creates kind of a stir like that,
and that's not to
that's
say
probably
that
their.
general consensus can never be wrong. It can be. But you just see like someone that's like twisted in this like guru like spell that they've cast on them basically,
Yeah.
right? That they're the person speaking the truth, that their blatant clickbait is actually not clickbait, but rather speaking truth to the stupid masses, right?
Thank
And then
you.
this is the part where I actually like I might have started crying. It says, then I go right to the source, John Mueller, which John Mueller is like the he's the like what do you call it? Like the spoke
Forward face.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the spokesperson for Google that speaks to the SEO community. So you basically ask John Mueller, "Hey, John Mueller, if I like, pay some for some high authority editorial links from badass sites, is it gonna help me?" And John Mueller will say, "Absolutely not. We're gonna catch you, and you're gonna get a penalty." And
Yeah.
anyone who's been in SEO,
He's the sheriff of Google SEO.
yeah, he's like basically he's the guy who basically repeats Google's position to people. Uh, he doesn't tell
Dude,
you.
he's like the sheriff of Nottingham, and we're like Robin Hood.
Calm down, calm down. But so John Weller, the best comparison to John Weller is like the press secretary to the president of the United States. Not being political, uh, doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden or whoever else.
Yeah.
The press
Job
secretary is
description.
that's their job to repeat the position of the president of the United States and to spin it in a way that basically ensures whatever goal they're trying to meet is reached, right? So it's to repeat a position and to spin it in a way that makes the listener react and behave a certain way. John Weller's job is to tell the SEO community bullshit in a way that they stop trying to fuck with their algorithm and do stuff that works that they haven't figured out a fix to, and yeah, to basically get people to stop messing with the algorithm, play by the rules, no link building, put out good content all the time, and you're gonna reach the stars, baby, kind of shit. Basically the white hat dream. John Weller is like yeah, he's that guy for Google, just repeating what they want people to do. They don't want people breaking their algorithm. They want people playing by their
Hmm.
rules. And hey, if you want to play by Google's rules, if you really like that authority of Google and you think Google is this amazing thing, maybe White Hat
Now, mind you,
SEO is for you.
Google, the big corporations that do follow, how they do SEO can afford to, because they've got constant pushes of content. They've got massive authority sites. They've got unlimited bankrolls to win. If you're an individual who has a limited bankroll, is starting an affiliate site, you're going to have to be a little bit more explorative in how to compete against the big brands. And what's cool about it is the fact that if you do explore and you do study, you can get a leg up on big brands, which historically used to just smash out any kind of competition.
Yeah, basically, they say most SEO channels survive on clickbait about what Goggle says, and they all say the same thing. Then I go right to the source, John Weller, and realize what they're all saying to do is just hype. I never follow the crowd. If you do, you can't stand out from the rest. Okay, this is something this is something like you see so many people that are new to SEO try to do. They think they're gonna find the thing themselves that allows them to succeed somehow. But they think somehow following John Weller, Google, you're literally doing what Google's telling you to do. That is not following the crowd.
I suppose I could see how somebody would think that's intuitive, right? Like, well, I'm going directly to the source. Google does SEO. It's how it all works. And so why wouldn't they tell me the truth? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because they don't necessarily want everybody to be able to succeed at manipulating their
No, they want no
data.
one to,
That
right?
would be counterintuitive to their business model.
Yeah,
Right.
Google does not like SEOs. They don't like people gaming their algorithm and getting a leg up on people. They want the algorithm working a certain way. We find ways around that. It's what we do. Um, but also, I never follow the crowd, and if you do, you cannot stand out from the rest. I feel like this is just like also. I know they're talking about something different, but it also just like goes against like this like major principle of SEO that I go by, which is look at page one, look what's
Yeah.
working, and emulate it, and
Yeah.
and then do it a little bit better. Like in a sense, you want to follow the crowd, and Google shows
Yeah.
you exactly what it likes, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then you can just do it better. Yeah, you can use like things that you've learned to basically get a leg up on them in the process of doing that. Um, it's like everything this person said. It's just so twisted, man. They're just so warped into this like. Anyway, um,
NGMI.
you can't stand out from the
NGMI.
rest and be competitive, especially when your competitors are e-commerce giants. I like to think outside the box, which is why I find your expertise valuable. So they're talking about white hat SEO is thinking outside the box, listening to John Weller's outside the box. Like you're
And
literally,
commenting their love for
like
a
you
person
are
who
the
erased
box. You are the
Ahrefs
box.
information. Yeah.
I like and here's another thing. I like your personal videos because this guru does personal videos because it shows you are real and not just one of the SEO sheep. Another thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and if you're watching this, blow your mind real quick. Gurus do these personal videos to build their story, to build their personal brand, to build their cult following, the cult of personality. Like this, that's the whole purpose of it. Like again, like maybe just marketing or SEO in general is not for this person. You can't understand why gurus are doing what they're doing. Because you can employ these very same tactics on your affiliate sites, on your websites, whatever, on your client sites. You add these elements of personalization. We're a real company. We're trustworthy. We do things a little bit differently around here. We're not trying to sell you something. Um, they are trying to sell you something.
Mm.
But it's about money. Okay.
Yeah, or if they're even, giving the information away, like it still ties into like a similar thing that we're doing with this show, right? Like it's building the brand, et cetera, overall. Um, but when they start employing things like pure manipulation and deception, yeah, you can kind of gauge that they're just in it for the money.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a rant. We've been on a little bit of a windy path today. A little rant today.
It got us to go over on our time.
Yeah, for sure. We also started a bit late because of
Yeah.
the technical difficulties, but so we didn't have as many live questions. So we had to do some backlog stuff and whatever. But yeah, this is some of
If you
this.
enjoyed our rant and if you love ranting, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Join us on Facebook where we
Oh
can
man,
talk like this all day.
we didn't tell people to like, comment, subscribe on any of the segments today. I don't think. Maybe just
We're
the
so
first
bad
one.
at it. And that's why I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit whether we don't get monetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's take a stand here. This is about our individuality as freedom fighters, helping you people out there that want to leg up on the corporate overlords and empires. Free information. Go out there and get it.
It's just it just really disturbs me, that the gurus like they know what they're doing is wrong. And I like the thing is this guy is a guru, but he's a white hat. And so they sell their courses and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I bet I bet they
They're
aren't
mainly
even
getting
that
corporate
I bet they
clients,
aren't
most
even that
likely.
successful. Like they're
No.
kind of like a I don't know, like getting an engineering job straight out of college successful. Um, you
which
know,
is it's good, but this guy's been in a
yeah, like
long
they're
time. If this
making
is
they're
where
making
their
good
level
money,
of
but it's not like
dedication goes
it's
to,
not
then it's
great.
like,
Like, okay, you're like
what the
supporting
hell?
yourself, but like, but the worst part about it is like, so that they're taking that. That's their payoff for this, for being intentionally manipulative, intentionally deceptive, um, and building this guru thing they have going on. And then you have people like this poor person who buy into it, hook, line, and sinker. And they're now basing all of their financial, they're running their business in a certain way based on a complete web of bullshit.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. It's
that's
gross.
the reality. That's yeah, it is gross.
And yeah, I feel like we say this pretty often, but you can buy our products if you want to. That's fine. We're doing fine with or without additional clientele. We've
Right.
got other stuff going on as well.
Yeah, also,
Um,
that's something we probably should preface. It's like we do well with this business, right? Like, and we enjoy this business, but it's not the only thing we're doing. And if you think people that are successful in SEO are only, focused on, you know, giving information and producing a profit out of other people that are in SEO, that is a very difficult um, business plan to execute on in comparison to the much easier things you can do going after enrolling and flipping affiliate websites, building local companies, any number of things that you can do with the talent of the recipes you've, figured out in SEO. Um, yeah,
yeah.
it's important to know that because if
I don't trust Becker that much, man. Maybe it's some good
dude,
information, but
why why are you saying why are you doing that? I'm a huge fan,
I know,
and
I
I don't know
know.
why you would bring that name out.
He's a guru,
Uh,
man. He's a guru.
uh
Anyway, just be careful out there, guys. Be skeptical. Not saying, and this guy too. I'm sure he's got parts of his courses and stuff that are immensely helpful. Um, and that's what makes it even harder, right? To determine where the bullshit is. Which part of this is sales and bullshit, and which part of it is actually helpful and should I be following? Um, yeah, so maybe my advice or the one big takeaway from this is if you're kind of newer and you're really into a couple gurus or whatever, also have some people, try to actually make some like friends or whatever, people that are actually maybe in the groups that aren't gurus and they're not trying to make money selling you shit, and just try to make some contacts and people you can kind of like bounce things off of, and people that have actually succeeded doing stuff. They don't have to be the biggest thing in the world, but actually have some experience doing stuff. And yeah, maybe it just I know it's a rough world out there, right? There's just so much crap. It's hard to kind of filter it at times, but yeah, you can also bounce stuff off of us in our group. We'll completely shut down stuff that we think is manipulative, or we know is manipulative or whatever. Um, and I think we're also pretty good about saying, we always do like the disclaimers on stuff. Like, for example, when we're talking about like real like spammy kind of like black hat shit, um, like it's not our way of doing things, but we should say like this 100% can work and does work all the
right.
time. It's risky and you have to understand the risk, right? Um, and I feel like, if you need to bounce stuff off us, we can try to shoot you the straight shit. All right, I think we're good with ranting for today. It's gonna be funny to see how these videos do. I just
Yeah,
want to
this is the
see.
first time we're doing something more personalized, I guess.
Uh, uh, maybe I'll make some like
I feel like given
super
seeing
clickbait
like
titles.
what other people that are in the limelight, so as to not use the word guru, but I feel like the main stuff that gets traction on their following is always like the more personalized stuff that's easier to jump into, because a lot of people don't want to study real hard on the internet. They just want to, latch on to an ideology that they like or care about. And maybe this rant will bring on some solid following.
Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Either way, like, comment, subscribe. Join the Facebook group SEO Roundtable, not SE Roundtable. Don't trust those guys. And what else we got to do? Subscribe to our mailing list. Or yeah, just positive something, or comment something positive about maybe how me or Nick are looking today.
Yeah.
Nick's you've been wearing that hat a lot lately.
I
Is that
haven't
like your new?
I haven't cut my hair in a while, so it's a little, I
An
just
awkward hair
yeah. Yeah,
stage.
actually in video I guess it doesn't look
That's getting a little bit
that
longer,
bad,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm working on it, so the hat makes me feel less self-conscious on
You gonna
video.
keep growing it out? You gonna go wild man?
I want long hair.
How
Yeah,
long?
man, maybe down to half my back, I never had hair that long, and I feel like it'd be pretty sweet. So go ahead and smash that like button. Join our group. You let me know what you'd think about me with long hair. Sick, not sick. Let us know.
Sick or super sick?
Yeah, that. Damn it.
All right, yeah, guys. Hopefully we helped you out. Thanks for coming by, and we will see you next week.